Finding a way every week. How about the Buffalo Bills?
No overthinking, right? Go play some ball. Go play some football.
It's an exciting time to be a Buffalo Bill and a fan of the Buffalo Bills.
Welcome, everybody, to Week 12 of the Sean McDermott Show presented by Kaleida Health. Thanks for joining us at home. Thanks, Sean, for giving us a couple minutes here. Huge win over the Jets, obviously, 32-6 over those guys. You're dominant on defense, and it's the first time that the Jets have allowed 30 points or more this season. You really were hitting on all cylinders. What was the most impressive or most fun thing for you about the game?
Well, I think watching the players have fun. At home, great environment, which started really with the opening kickoff and our special teams causing the fumble, Reggie Gilliam in particular, and then Q Morse recovering, and the rest was history after that.
Yeah, you come out with that play on opening kickoff. It's hard to get off to a better start, but explain a little bit about the impact that can have on a team as the game's getting underway and you don't know anything about how it's going to go just yet.
Well, we wanted to set the tone, and usually you set the tone on defense, but when your kickoff team can come out and set the tone like they did, that just, I think, put the icing on the cake, at least for the start of the game.
And the big story of the game, Joe Brady got his first win as OC, and he was fired up. The offense had 32 points. You know, it was the most the Jets gave up, like I said earlier. 393 total yards given up. That's something the Jets are not used to doing as well. What do you think Joe was able to do? Why so much success against a really good defense like that? Why so much, and why particularly him calling plays rather than somebody else?
Well, I don't think it's as much, and not take anything away from Joe, as far as him calling plays as much as it was him getting everyone on the same page, and then the execution that ensued after that.
Josh had a nice game. 20 of 32, 275, the 3 touchdowns, a throwaway interception right before half where it was kind of a, we'll see what we can get kind of play. He took care of the football. He didn't force anything, kind of trusted his players to make plays for him. And what do you take away from that performance that you can communicate to him? Like, okay, this is what we're going forward. Well, more of this, less of that.
Yeah.
And when you're kind of hitting on all cylinders, it's kind of tough to, pick certain things out.
Well, that's just it. He played the position, right? Josh did, and really starting, I'd say probably 10, 12 plays in, maybe early second quarter, he really started to play the position and take what the defense was giving him. He settled in. The offensive line did a nice job both in the run and the pass game. And the players, when he did deposit the ball underneath, outside in the flat or over the ball, they made people miss, and that holds a lot of value.
Yeah, Khalil Shakir got in this game, 3 receptions for 115 yards. He got it. Longest touchdown reception of the season in the league with 81 yards. And he's starting to play a bigger and bigger role, kind of mulling over the Dawson Knox absence, continues to make big plays. Why do you think he's been able to make the most of these opportunities? Certainly it has to do with his targets. Talk a little bit about his late success.
Well, he's so dependable. And, I believe, and I'm sure you believe as well, Steve, being in the league as long as you have been, that when you do things right, the ball finds you as a receiver, and it's finding him because he's doing things right.
Yeah, okay, let's flip it over. Your defense didn't allow a single third down conversion all night. They're 0 for 11. 3 or 6 sacks came on third down. Leonard Floyd had 2. Ed Oliver got his. What happened on third down? Why were you so dominant on that down this last week?
Well, the players were just playing with an incredible amount of intensity. And when you can get a team in third and long, like we did multiple times, you can cut loose and then you play some good coverage behind it, and then the defensive line just takes over from there.
Rasul Douglas accounted for 3 turnovers. I mean, what a game he had. 100% of the defensive snaps, held Garrett Wilson to 2 catches and 9 yards. He recovered the fumble, aside from the 2 interceptions he got. How does a guy fit in the way he has?
Instincts, really, football instincts. He knows the game, knows how to play the game, and he anticipates and he prepares. I mean, that's really where it's at.
One of the great surprises for Bills fans has been the play of Leonard Floyd. He leads the team with 9.5 sacks. It's his 3rd game with 2+. He's 1 sack away from matching his career high, so he's obviously thrived here. It's not just another year for him either. How important is it to have a guy like Leonard on your defense this time of year with the games you've got coming up on the schedule?
Yeah, veteran player that prepares every week. Here's a guy that was out a little bit over the summer, and we called him, and a good pickup for us. He plays hard every time he's in the lineup, and he's been a great addition for us, not just in the pass game, but he understands, even though he's not a real big guy, that you got to stop the run if you want to rush the passers.
All right, Coach, thanks for this. We'll get back to you later in the show with your final thoughts on facing the Eagles on Sunday. And for you at home, stay with us. We'll be back on the Sean McDermott Show.
The Game Plan is presented by Energy Mark. Trust Energy Mark for renewable energy supply.
When we come back, Eric Wood and I break down the tape from the win over the Jets. Then tight end Dalton Kincaid is mic'd up in the win.
Shopping Wood is presented by St. Bonaventure University, an official education partner of the Buffalo Bills.
Welcome back to the Sean McDermott Show, and it's time now to look back at the tape with our good buddy Eric Wood. The Bills played a complete game against the New York Jets on both sides of the ball. What stood out to you?
Everyone was excited to see what the offense would look like under new offensive coordinator Joe Brady, and I was very pleased in my first look at his offense. The Jets have a really good defense that has kept this Bills offense in check the last few meetings, but not this time. Joe Brady schemed up a couple nice plays that went for touchdowns, and the offense put up 393 yards in this game. On the other side of the ball, the Bills defense completely shut down the Jets offense.
Well, let's start with the first touchdown for the Bills. This one went to James Cook from 5 yards out. Explain this one.
The Bills put Cook on a motion back into the backfield. Josh Allen's able to identify man-to-man defense. This is schemed up, and if it's man-to-man, it's going to Cook. Those three wide receivers on the right-hand side, they are all going to get in the way of the Jets linebackers. One of the two of them is going to have him man-to-man, and James Cook comes wide open across the formation and gets completely lost on this play. This is a nice design by Joe Brady.
Yeah, and in the second half, the Bills turned a 4th and 2 into a touchdown. This time, Josh found Ty Johnson for his first touchdown as a Bill.
Yeah, this is a play-action design rollout to the right for Josh Allen. They put Khalil Shakir in motion. Josh immediately sees that it's man-to-man defense. And then Gabe Davis, through his release, throws a little bit of a pick, but almost more of a block in a sense, but it springs Ty Johnson, who's going to end up being completely wide open. And then Ty Johnson, who hasn't got much action at all this year against his former team of the Jets, shows off the wheels and gets to the end zone.
And on Josh's next pass attempt, he connected with Khalil Shakir for their longest play of this season, an 81-yard touchdown. What did you see here?
So Josh Allen's in an empty set here. So essentially 5 wides. James Cook is split all the way to the bottom of the screen, and he's going to hold Sauce Gardner just wide enough. And Josh Allen, with his eyes, is going to hold Jordan Whitehead in the middle of the field. So Josh is looking left. That keeps Whitehead going towards the middle of the field. And when Josh Allen looks back to the right, he knows he has that crease. But with Sauce Gardner coming, he knows he's got to rip it, and Josh put this one right on the money and showed off that elite arm strength to get it past him.
All right, let's flip it over to the defensive side of the ball and take a look at how McDermott shut down the Jets' offense. They had 6 sacks, and this one was split by Bernard and Floyd.
The Bills had some really well-timed pressures in this game. It just seemed like they had a bead on this Jets protection. And here, it's a tough look for the offense to identify up front. There's essentially 5 guys across the line of scrimmage, and then here comes Bernard right between Jordan Phillips and Leonard Floyd, who's actually lined up over the guard. Leonard Floyd is able to beat the right guard as well, so he's going to get a half sack on the play, but Terrell Bernard comes flying through on the play and causes havoc immediately here.
And then Ed Oliver got in on the action. He's having a fantastic season, and here he gets his 6th sack of the season.
So this is going to be a line game. This is an ET stunt between AJ Epinesa and Ed Oliver. It's ET because the end is going first. So AJ is going to take a couple steps of the field, then he's going in and he's beelining right at the guard. And then oftentimes that tackle, when he goes back out, if your weight gets going too much and you get a guy like Ed Oliver, he'll chuck you right on your tail. That's what Ed does here. And this is a really nice stunt up front by this Bills defensive line, and a really nice play by Ed.
Great stuff as always. Thanks for this, Eric. We'll catch up with you after the bye week.
Looking forward to it, Steve.
When we return, Dalton Kincaid is mic'd up for the win over the Jets. And later on, we take a deep dive into some next-gen stats in Sportsology.
Mic'd Up is presented by Geico.
No, they're waiting for you right there. It's definitely on. Is it on? It's on? You're on. Yep. Dalton, you're hot. Dalton, it's on right now.
I didn't even know it was on me.
It is, no.
Mike's hot. Let's go. Nobody wants to hear this type of content. Don't tell me your pants are falling again. Just letting you know. Cue.
Are they down?
Have some personality today. Have fun rolling around. Man. Go have fun. I love you. Show up now. Let's go. Show up big.
Come on, Reds!
It's a pop-up short to the 7-yard line. Gibson takes it there, out to the 20, and he is walloped!
Reggie's going fucking crazy.
Love you, though, bro.
Love you, brother.
Took a while, but I love you now.
Hey, you gotta earn it.
I couldn't lie to you.
You gotta earn it. Hit me. There we go. I'm good.
Oh, yeah.
I needed that. I know, I should not run at him. Yeah!
All right. Wasn't it?
Oh, that was a funny guy. Ooh. Jumbo, my bad. That's on me. You did that.
Is that your block? That's how you finish. It's unbelievable effort, man. Unbelievable effort. That was a great block,
Bro.
Look at that.
Khalil's. I ran down and just doop. I ran down and just doop.
Did you hit somebody?
I had the block. It took like 3 of them.
Going, bro. I watched you play against O State in the bowl game. Man, you're a great player, bro. I know it. Keep going,
Thanks for joining the Mic'd Up. Go Bills.
Still to come on the Sean McDermott Show, we break down some next-gen stats in Sportsology. And later on, Coach previews Sunday's game in Philadelphia against the Eagles.
Sportsology is presented by ECMC. ECMC, bringing hope and healing to Western New York.
What's up, Bills Mafia? We got a couple of bomb stats to show you from Buffalo's big dub against the Jets because a couple of guys were cooking on offense. Josh Allen and Khalil Shakir's 81-yard touchdown in Week 11 was the first deep TD allowed by the Jets defense this season. It was also only their 4th deep completion allowed. On that play, Allen placed the ball perfectly as Shakir had just 1.1 yards of separation and a completion probability of 36.7%. The wideout also grabbed 49 yards after the catch over expected on that play. That touchdown was also Allen's 15th of more than 10 air yards, which leads the league. Dalton Kincaid also showed up to play against the Jets. The tight end caught all 5 of his targets against zone coverage for 33 yards and finished with 8 receiving yards over expected. Kincaid has caught 45 of his 47 targets against zone coverage this season. That's the highest catch rate against zone in the NFL with a minimum of 20 targets. Kincaid has been targeted 21 times without an incompletion against zone dating back to Week 8. His 45 catches against zone tie for second most amongst tight ends, and his 82 receiving yards over expected also tie for second amongst tight ends. Shakir and Kincaid rank 4th and 5th in the NFL in catch percentage through 11 weeks of the season. I know we're all excited to see what they have planned for the rest of the year.
When we come back, Chris Brown and Maddy Glab preview Sunday's game against the Eagles in Philadelphia. Then Coach shares what it will take to get the win on Sunday.
Game Preview is presented by Independent Health. You deserve the red shirt treatment.
Welcome into this week's game preview. Maddy Glab alongside of Chris Brown, and the tough stretch for the Bills begins. A game against the Eagles, a bye week, and then they go to Kansas City to play against the Chiefs. But first up, the Eagles, who looked good against the Chiefs this week. They move on to 9-1 on the season. This is a team that knows how to score points. They're averaging 27.3 points per game, good for 5th in the NFL. They have quite a few weapons in terms of receivers that they are able to use and lean on, and then you have to deal with Jalen Hurts. So what does this defense need to do to be able to stop all of those different weapons that they have going on for them?
Yeah, I was kind of impressed with the season that DeAndre Swift is having at the running back position, and he allows the passing game to open up by getting the ground game going early. And in a messy game in Kansas City, he really kind of carried the offense, and then Jalen Hurts was finishing drives by running it into the end zone himself. So the passing game kind of took a back seat this past week against Kansas City, which, oh, by the way, is 3rd in the league in points allowed. That defense is very good and better than it's been in recent years. But that's the thing that Philly does. If they need to grind out a game and run the ball, they can do that. If they have to go to the air, we obviously know they have the talent to do that as well. So you have to stop one thing as the Bills defense first and try to make them one-dimensional.
Yeah, they rank 8th in terms of rushing offense. 128 yards per game is what they're averaging on the ground. And then if you look to what the Bills need to do on offense, this is a defense that can also have their way with teams. They held the Chiefs to 17 points. I know it was not the best weather game, but they're a little lopsided when you look at statistics. They're really good against the run. They're good up front. They know how to get after the quarterback. But in terms of passing, they allow quite a few yards. They allow people to score on them in the red zone, and they allow people to convert third downs against them at a very high rate. So who needs to step up on this offense?
I think they're going to need help from everybody. Everybody's going to have to pitch in to make this a successful effort against the Eagles on the offensive side of the ball. So that means using the backs out of the backfield. I think that's going to have to double as your running game, a short pass game. And then you have to find ways to stay in favorable down and distance. And I don't know if running straight at him is the way to do that. They may have to work on the fringes, try to get those conversions on 3rd down, and then when they get in the red zone, convert with touchdowns, not field goals like they did last week. You got to put 7 on the board and stay ahead of that team.
Yeah, you're playing the Eagles. You got to score 7 points instead of 3 if you want to beat a team that's 9-1 right now.
Coach, back on the road against the Philadelphia Eagles, defending NFC champs. This is a big one. You all know they're 4-0 at home. Your first time back there as a head coach after being a successful defensive coordinator for those guys. Tell Bills fans why Philly's such a good football town, why it's a tough place to play.
You know, it reminds me a lot of Buffalo. Very passionate fan base. They care about their sports teams. Sports is important like it is here in Buffalo, whether it's our hockey team, our football team, or any other sport that's being played. Our fans get behind us like they do in Philadelphia.
Yeah, first matchup between Jalen Hurts and our guy Josh Allen. Both these guys can run it. They can throw it. Last year, Hurts was in the Super Bowl and had a really nice game in the loss. How much similarity do you see between Josh and Jalen?
Well, they're both mobile, they're both strong. You think you got them wrapped up in the pocket on a sack, and if you relax, they spin out, and all of a sudden you get your hands full. So both very good athletes, and both have had success to this point in their career.
All right, so you're going in, the Eagles have 2 elite wide receivers. You faced elite duos before, Chase and Higgins in Cincinnati, Hill and Waddle in Miami. How are A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith so different from other elite wide receiver tandems?
Well, first of all, Jalen throws a great deep ball. Number one, outside in particular, and they take their shots down the field. They believe in that philosophically, offensively, and then when you look at what he's able to do to extend plays, and he's got A.J. on the one side and Smith on the other, and they're different, right? The one's, a little bit more smoother than the other one. The other one's a big body, tough, strong receiver at the point of attack. So 2 different guys, but both very effective.
All right, Coach, thanks for this. We'll catch up with you after the bye week, after the Philly game. Good luck in Philadelphia. And for you at home, thanks for watching the Sean McDermott Show presented by Kaleida Health. We'll catch you up after the bye week, just before the Kansas City game. We'll see you next time, and as always, Go Bills.
Final Thoughts is presented by Toyota. Toyota is the exclusive and official vehicle of the Buffalo Bills. Toyota, let's go places. The Sean McDermott Show is presented by Kaleida Health, the official healthcare provider of the Buffalo Bills. By Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys. Call 716-684-COMP today. By Toyota. Toyota is the exclusive and official vehicle of the Buffalo Bills. Toyota, let's go places. And by Independent Health. You deserve the red shirt treatment.